Our baby is 6 weeks old now. He is actually sleeping over there in the bassinet. So if you hear some grunts and moans, that is him as he's doing that right now. But today I thought I would share some of the most used products for both baby and mom in those first 6 weeks when I was newly postpartum, the things that I actually used, as well as what we've really used for baby. This is my second little boy, so I have some experience from our first baby as well as this baby. But I want to jump right into the most used products for me when I came right home from the hospital. And a lot of these are going to be breastfeeding related. So if you are not a breastfeeding mother, a lot of these won't apply to you. But the one that will apply to both formula feeding and breastfeeding moms is diapers. Yes, diapers for you. I prepared last time padsicles and all of these other things that I didn't really use or didn't feel like they were helping me that much. It depends on your delivery type and whether you tear or not. If some of the other things are going to be useful, like Dermaplast, or I have another foam spray that I got from Frida Mom, Tux wipes, the padsicles like I mentioned, all of that stuff. None of that I really found to be overly helpful. All I really felt like was a tried and true thing that I absolutely needed to have postpartum was adult diapers. And I will link the ones that I like because I tried new ones this time, did not like them as much, as well as any other products that I mentioned throughout the video or things that I recommend in this first 6 week period. But those adult diapers are a must for a while. Again, it depends on how long you bleed, and then you can kind of transition to pads or panty liners after that. The other things that I would recommend, again, like I said, are mostly nursing related. The first I will say is I would invest in a good breastfeeding pillow. This one is the My Breast Friend. I also have the Boppy pillow, and I have to tell you that the Boppy pillow, especially for the brand newborn phase, just doesn't really work that well. I saw a lactation consultant who said if you're using the Boppy pillow for the newborn phase to stop at least until they get older because it creates this little crevice that the baby can kind of fall into. I always felt like they weren't high enough just because they're so small, and I was putting blankets under the Boppy and things like that. The My Breast Friend has back support, velcros around you, and it does lift them up just a little bit higher, so that is my favorite. Also, in the beginning, there's a lot of nipple pain and things going on. I found the most helpful thing to be these hydrogel pads. There are two different brands that I've used. They're both great. I will link them again, but they're kind of cooling and you can put them on in between feeding. I have tried, again, nipple butters, all the other things. I would ignore all of that and get something like these. Last time I also got some great nursing bras that were nursing and pumping bras. They were nice and structural. I got some that were good for working out. But in the beginning, I didn't get any that were great for sleeping in or breastfeeding in public. So I'm going to tell you my two favorites for those. Sleeping, I really like a bra like this that just pulls down, doesn't have any clips or clasps. I would recommend getting maybe a larger size than you usually do, just because in the beginning there's a lot of engorgement, and also at night you can get more engorgement, at least I do, and it's just really easy to pop it down without the clips, and you want it to be a little bit more loose and comfortable because you're going to be sleeping in it. And if you've never breastfed before and you're new to this, you may want to or have to wear a bra because you could be leaking. You just want to have one of those, and a sleep one is great. I have another one that's very similar. This one does have a pad in it though. That is still very comfortable for night, but I also feel like a little bit better wearing this one out during the daytime. And then if I am breastfeeding in public, my favorite thing to do is to wear a nursing tank top. They have little clips down, and I like to just lift my shirt up, put baby like under my shirt, and then if I'm lifting my shirt up, I don't have to show my whole stomach to everyone around me, and can have them kind of under there, and then clip open the nursing tank top. So those sleep bras and nursing tank tops were things that I didn't think of the first time around, and they're probably the most used just because I'm kind of comfy at home during the day, and those sleep ones I wear throughout the day, and then if I have to head out, the tank tops are great. And also, speaking of access for nursing. Another thing besides the tank top, t-shirt, or shirt combination that I really like is finding tops that have functional buttons on them. I will link my favorites. They're a Henley waffle shirt that is really, really nice because it just pops straight open. And then at night, I really invested in some nice pajamas, both nightgowns and top and bottom sets that have buttons down them, which again, very easy in the middle of the night to pop them down instead of having to lift my shirt up. Like, who am I trying to hide from? It's great to have those buttons at night. And then the last thing for me that I really used in those first 6 weeks was breast milk collectors. And I wanted to be really careful of not pumping too early, not getting an oversupply, and a lot of the things that you'd think of as milk catchers or milk collectors may actually be considered kind of a pump because there's a suction aspect to them, which can lead to an oversupply. Again, this is something that I've discussed with a lactation consultant. So something like the LV Catch, that's what I have right here, is actually just a milk collector. It passively collects milk, and as you're establishing your milk supply, oftentimes women do a lot of leaking in those beginning weeks, and if you don't want to be pumping and you want to get a little bit of a collection of milk without pumping, something like this is great. You can put it on the opposite breast as you nurse on one side and catch the letdown from the opposite side, or you can have two of them and just keep them in your bra as you maybe leak throughout the day and empty them out. The other ones have a suction. This is another LV one, but if you think of like the Haka, that also has suction to it. So I wouldn't use those in the first few weeks, maybe towards the end of the 6-week period. If you again want to be building up a milk supply, it's a great way to do it without pumping. I really like this one, and I have so many, but they're dirty right now. So I just shared these two, but again, I will link more in the description box. So let's talk about stuff for baby. My baby came out with claws when he was born, and this nail file is so useful. It is an electric file. It has a little light at the end. It comes with different interchangeable tops, so you can change it as they get older and have a little bit harder nails. It starts with a really soft pad, and of course if they just get a lot of wear and tear, you can replace them. This has gone through 2 babies, so it's done a great job, and I'm not scared of cutting him, which is nice. Sleep-wise, a good swaddle, a Velcro swaddle, has been a game changer. These babies are Houdinis. I don't know how, but if I don't use one of my favorite swaddles, if I use one of the other ones I have, because I have so many different types, I got the swaddle sample box from Babylist with our first, and we've just gotten some other free swaddles or swaddles as gifts. But if I use one of those, I swear every time, like, his arms have escaped the swaddle and I have no idea how. My favorites are, they're all in a ball right now, but this Happiest Baby one, this one's really great. It just Velcros their arms straight down and then zips around them. The Ollie swaddle is just a straight Velcro swaddle. It's like this big square rectangle with Velcro on either side, and you just lay them down and fold it over and Velcro them up. And I actually really love the Halo swaddle. It's like a sleep sack, and then you swaddle them around. Kite Baby also makes a really high quality version of this if you want to spend a little bit more money. They're one of our favorites for sleep sacks, and Sleep Swaddles is one of their newer products. Then in the middle of the night when I'm changing diapers, there is nothing more useful than something like this. Even if you have a changing pad near you, or if you have like a pack and play that you're using as a bassinet with a changing pad top to it, I am just too lazy, so I like to sit in bed and change his diaper, and the amount of spit up and pee, potentially poop, we've had that happen before, that can happen in the middle of the night or when you're doing diaper changes like on your bed, is extreme. So something like this that has a waterproof liner to it, we just bought a pack of these, and this might be one of the most used baby items. I just lay him on here in the middle of the night. If he spits up all over it, if he pees that I'm changing a diaper, because newborns do that a lot, I just roll it up and grab another one and toss it in the laundry, and it's that easy. Also in the middle of the night, this tap nightlight, I literally tap it. It's so bright in here, it's hard to see, but you tap it on and off, and I use this for diaper changes and for feeding, just to keep the light as low as humanly possible so I don't wake him up too much. I want him to know that it's nighttime, to just wake up to feed, for a diaper change, and go straight back to bed. And in the newborn phase, those first 6 weeks especially, there's lots of wake ups, at least for me. If your baby's waking up a lot, please know that you're not alone and it's completely normal. And having a light like this is great, especially if your partner is not waking up that time and you want to let them rest, you're not waking them up or the baby too much. A sound machine is another must, and I would actually recommend having multiple sound machines. So hear me out. We have a Hatch, which I just got for our bedroom. I don't know why we didn't have one earlier, because we have a baby in a bassinet in our room. I like the Hatch personally, having it for our room even after he leaves. He has another one in his room, the smaller version, but this is the more adult version. And then I also have a couple more portable sound machines, one that I use downstairs if we're having him sleep elsewhere, and one that I keep in my diaper bag so we can use it on the go. Speaking of sleeping elsewhere, you need to have a spot for baby to sleep other than their bassinet or their crib, or at least I would highly recommend. It's been really pivotal for me, and not even sleep. I shouldn't say sleep, because what I'm about to say is not necessarily for sleep, but you wanna have a spot for them to sleep and a spot just to like put them down, so you're not holding them all day long, but you want safe places to put them. So I would get a play mat to put them down on, some sort of an infant lounger like a DockATot or the Snuggle Me. Both of those are great, but not sleep approved. So make sure your baby's not sleeping in that if you're not with them in the room, or they shouldn't be sleeping in it at all, but make sure you're in the room with them while they are in it, so that you're monitoring them and they're not like sticking their face on the side of something that's soft. We also have a pack and play downstairs. I have that set up for the newborn phase, because if I am downstairs doing a lot of dishes and cooking and stuff, and it's time for him to take a nap, because they basically nap all throughout the day and I want to have a safe place to put him down, the pack and play is perfect because we have a house with multiple floors on it. So those things have been very, very helpful. Another thing that I love is to baby wear, and especially in the newborn phase, these wraps, these fabric wraps, please do not be intimidated by them. I started off not knowing how to use them, of course, when I was a first-time mom, and watched a couple of video tutorials, and my mom is always so impressed now when I use these, because I just kind of like whip it around and tie a knot and then toss the baby in, and I can get so much done around the house, and they love it. Both of my boys have loved it. They've taken the longest naps when they are being baby worn. I think because they just feel so close to you. They like the movement as you walk around. And I also personally love it. I love the fabric wrap, how close I feel to them. And it's just really sweet to do that, and really nice to give your hands and arms a little bit of a break from carrying them. In terms of what baby wore for the first 6 weeks, zippered and especially double zippered sleepers is the way to go. You may want to have a few cute outfits if they're going to do some outings and things like that, but anything beyond those few outings, I think it's just not practical to have a bunch of two-piece sets or to have snap outfits that are just overly complicated. There's so many diaper changes. Again, I have babies that spit up, so there's accidents and spit up and outfit changes in general. So having those two-way zippers is really just convenient, and I don't mess around with much beyond those. I did find a new type of sleeper this time that has some Velcro on it. It's kind of like a swaddle. So the stomach portion Velcros over, and you just kind of, it makes me think of like a kangaroo pouch that you stick their legs in the bottom. You can pull their legs out without undoing anything. But the reason it has that Velcro is so you can undo it and do skin-to-skin contact as you're establishing breastfeeding or just establishing a bond with your baby and you want to have that close skin-to-skin contact. It just unvelcros and their whole stomach is kind of exposed, which I really enjoyed, and that was a cool baby product. The last thing, I have a winter baby, so it might be a little bit different if you have a summer baby, but I would highly recommend just getting a really high quality baby blanket / swaddle. The baby blanket that I got this time, I've gotten 2 of them. I had a friend who had it when I had my first, and he was like 6 months old when I discovered it. It is the nicest, like thick, warm blanket, perfect for a winter baby. And I also just use it to nurse and use it as a nursing cover. I throw it over his stroller when we're going in and out of stores so he's not too cold. I don't use any of those like 3 or 4 or 5 or 6-in-1 products where it's a car seat cover and a nursing cover and a blanket and a scarf and who knows what, because I just felt weird putting that whole tent over me. It was too much of an ordeal to put over the car seat and to keep transitioning it. The blanket is really all you need to throw over yourself as you are nursing or to throw over your baby. And the one that I'm going to link is my absolute favorite. If you have more of a summer baby, I would probably get a lighter weight one, like one of those lightweight swaddles. You could do the same thing. Use it as a blanket. Use it as a nursing cover. I will wipe up, spit up with it, and toss it in the laundry. But I wouldn't waste your time with one of those all-in-one nursing cover, car seat cover things, because at least I personally just didn't use it. So those are the most used products over the first 6 weeks for my little guy over there, and things that I used as well. I have more videos talking about baby products like 0 to 3 months and a whole series, which if you are interested, I will link that down below as well. But I just want to thank you for being here as together we make this motherhood journey sophisticated.